And next up at UFC London, we've got Melissa Mullins taking on Luana Carolina. Carlos, who you got in this matchup?
I ended up going with Mullins in this one. Like I feel that both struggle with stand up. I just think Carolina's a little bit looser with her stand up. I don't think she's got not any power on her punches, but she doesn't have like big power on her punches. She's very active with her legs, so she likes to kick, and she'll kick to the body, she'll kick to the leg, she'll go up top. But grappling aspect, I feel that Mullins is gonna have the edge there. The only problem is how she's gonna get it there. And Mullins does utilize her jab, and the reaction that she gets from women when she hits them, like that head just snaps back. And you start to see the discoloration, they start to bleed a little bit, but she doesn't really believe in it. She throws her 1-2. It seems a little heavy, like we were talking about earlier, because she's flat-footed. She's got her weight behind every punch. She's a little slow in comparison to Carolina, but I just find it hard to believe that Carolina's gonna stand outside and rip kicks for most of this fight. I feel like Carolina's going to come inside at some point. She's going to be looking for her own takedown, and that's where Mullins is going to be able to capitalize on the ground game. But in the stand-up, whereas Carolina's going to move, throw some kicks, try to throw some hooks, some straights, I think Mullins is going to start landing that jab a little bit, maybe get a little confidence. So I'm going to take Mullins because I feel she should be the one that gets the better on the ground. I feel like it's going to get there. I think Carolina is going to initiate it to go down there. But like we were talking about, Carolina's the busier. She's the looser of the two. So I could see it going that way as well. But obviously, this is one we're not confident in too much, or at least I'm not confident in. So I'm gonna go with Mullins. I'm gonna stick with it, and I think she can.
I'm going with Luana Carolina here. I'm done trusting Melissa Mullins. I share the same sentiments as Carlos that both women kind of suck on the feet. I'm definitely not confident in this pick by any means. But Melissa Mullins, as Carlos mentioned, very flat-footed. I do think she carries more power out of the two, loads up a lot on that right hand. And when she does crack, she does hurt girls. Her main skill set, realistically, she wants to back you up against the fence, get into some sort of body lock, trip takedown, get on top and, kind of land, ground and pound and soften you up for a submission. That's her best skill set. But to me, Luana Carolina is the better athlete. She's a little bit faster. She's a little bit light and lighter on her feet, at least. And I think when you go back and you look at these matchups, at least when I was doing tape study, when you look at Mullins, obviously her loss in her previous fight against Zelennikova, you watch that fight, she's getting tagged with everything in the kitchen sink, just with straight shots down the pipe because she lacks speed and athleticism. And I do think that Zelennikova is definitely the better, more technical striker. But I think Carolina can definitely capitalize, especially with the counters. As Mullins walks forward, I do think that Carolina is going to be able to kind of time a few hooks, snap kicks at range as well. And I think realistically, when this fight hits the mat, I don't think that Carolina's a fish out of water on the ground. I think she does a good job of scrambling. If you go back and look at that Montague fight, she was able to defend some of the takedowns in that fight, a pretty heavy grappling approach from her. So she's had practice against, probably a woman I would argue has got probably better grappling than Melissa Mullins has. And I think realistically, this fight is one of those ones where we're all going to look at it and say, Melissa Mullins is probably going to be the favorite. Luana Carolina is probably going to be the underdog. And this is going to be one of those fights that's going to be a greasy split decision where Carolina is able to get it done. I know you can argue hometown hero here and, British fighter fighting in England and all that jazz, but Melissa Mullins gets tagged far too much for my liking, in my opinion, especially on the feet. And if she doesn't have means to get this one to the ground and control Carolina on the ground for long periods, I think Carolina can do enough here to win this one in the stand-up. And I do want to point out as well, I do agree with Carlos, both women suck on the feet, but Luana Carolina, two-time Brazilian national champion in Muay Thai, she must have got that in a box of cereal, but I'm going to go with Luana Carolina to get this one done in the striking.